Hey gamers, welcome back. So, the clock is ticking on the return policy for all this stuff that I bought. So that means I need to make more videos and I need to do a stream at some point. And basically that means I gotta keep doing stuff to make sure all this works the way I want it to. I made a couple changes, software end, to make sure that it's working the way I want to, because unfortunately in the post-production little clip that I recorded for the previous video, I noticed the same error, and then I was like, oh frick. So changed a couple things. Maybe it will work a little bit better. Granted, that was a one-time thing, hopefully, but we'll see. So for today's conversation topic, or this video's conversation topic, I'm going to talk about a homework assignment that I absolutely hated from first grade to fifth grade. It actually might have been third grade to fifth grade. This is actually something I wanted to talk about, to make a video talking about, bashing on it for a very long time now. I just haven't really found an opportunity to do that. And also, I haven't really been wanting to post other things that are not Zelda related to make it not seem like I'm going off topic from Zelda stuff. But now's a good time to do it. So this homework assignment, it's not really an assignment. It's not really an assignment. What it was, so I had this like little book, and there was a calendar in it. There was also a bunch of other stuff in it. None of that other stuff really mattered, though. I only look at that maybe like twice a year, all the other stuff that came in this booklet. But the important thing in it was a calendar. There was just like this, each day was like a block. You know what? Hang on, let me pull up MS Paint. So each day, where's my mouse? There it is. Okay, so each day was like its own little block. You know, you had this, day, whatever, right? And then you would have like, it wouldn't list the year on it. It would just be like, I think it was up here in the top left, be like August. I don't think that's how you spell August. I'm pretty sure the U comes first. And it also did not take up that much space either. Anyways, whatever. So you had like date up here. It would just be the month and the actual, the 20th, 19th, whatever. It wouldn't include the year on it because that would take up a lot of space. Hey, post recording Mr. Z here. So what I actually meant to say right here is that they don't put the year on it because that's more expensive to print out. It's more expensive to print out each, like an individual specialized booklet for each year rather than just printing out the same booklet each year and then not putting the year on it. And then it's like, oh, well, we don't actually have a 31st this year, so just cross that out. You know, it's because it was cheaper. That's why they didn't put the year on it, because it was cheaper. That's what I actually meant to say, so my bad. The other thing too is they didn't put the day on it. Like they didn't put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They didn't put the days on there for the same reason that I just described beforehand. So yeah, I figured I wanted to specify that real quick in another uh, post production clip. And I think this was in like its own little box. And then you had a bunch of lines. I say a bunch. It wasn't really that many lines. I want to say it was like 5 lines maybe. Anyways, so you had all this, boom, boom. Also, something else I forgot to actually draw on here. Down here is actually the important box that we're going to get to in a second. We're gonna just put an S on that. So what you would do, it was pretty much, I want to say it was usually at the end of like every day. It might have been just at the end of every class, but definitely either at the end of every class or at the end of every day. The teacher would put all the homework assignments up on like the projector, put it on the projector, project it onto the board, or I don't know, write it down somewhere else on like the giant sheet of white paper or something. Anyways, it would be somewhere. We would copy it down to these lines, write it down to these lines. And then one of the things that we had to do was get a signature every day. And the signature will go in this box right here. Now, this had to be done on a daily basis. Now, also something else I want to specify as well, you could not sign it. You, the student, could not sign it. You had to get, your parent or whoever to sign it. And this had to be done daily. And something that I had discovered from one time, you're not supposed to sign them ahead for whatever reason. Well, I think I know what the reason is, and we'll get to that in a minute. So they're supposed to sign it every day, parent, guardian, whoever. And I've just found this to be really annoying. This just assignment to be, it's not really an assignment, like I said, because all it is a signature. But I found it to be so annoying because it was a signature I had to obtain every single day. And it felt pointless. It felt so pointless. And I don't understand what the point of it is beyond the fact that they're trying to get the parents involved with the kids' homework because, first to fifth grade, that's the first, no, not 12, because you start school at 5. So, hang on, calculator. 12 minus 5. First 7 years, of it's first the first 7 school years of their life. So 5 to 12, try to get the parents involved with the kids' homework, maybe helping them out with their homework, making sure they're getting all their homework done and da 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 da. So I think one reason was parent involvement. I think the second reason was to try and help the kids remember to do their homework every day. I mean, obviously having a list of the stuff that you need to do that day is helpful, but I think putting the signature requirement on there was also like making them have to look at the list, obviously, to make sure they didn't forget to do anything. Sometimes, not very often, but rarely, I did forget to do a homework assignment. And that was a really sucky day for me when that happened. And then sometimes, but also, again, not very often, I forgot to get the signature, which also was a sucky day for me. But oh well. And I gotta say, if like the signature was like the only thing that you missed, and looking back on it, I'm thinking to myself now, looking back on it, if the signature was literally the only thing I missed, it's like, why? I mean, I know you have to point it out to me that I didn't get that, but like, why are you making such a big deal out of it? I did all the other actual work. Why does missing that one thing matter so much? Anyways, I don't know. I didn't like it. There's definitely other things that I've done in the past, other homework assignments that were more annoying than that, which would just be like actual work. And I'd be like, wow, this thing is really stupid or whatever. Or wow, this thing was insanely hard for no good reason. Something like that, whatever. But I just think it wasn't necessary. And even back then, I could remember to do all my homework assignments, without needing to be like, oh, hey, does it look like I did everything? You know? because like I said, most of the time I was able to remember to do all my assignments. Very rarely did I forget to do something. So, whatever. I think this started in first grade. I could be wrong on that. It might have started in third grade. And then when I got to sixth grade, they never handed me another one of those booklets. And I remember at the end of the first day, I was like, oh, they didn't hand me a booklet. I was like, well, maybe they'll hand me one, tomorrow or whenever the next day was. So I can't remember if the first day in sixth grade was on a Friday or something. But, I was like, okay, well, maybe they'll hand me one, tomorrow. And then they didn't. I was like, okay, maybe they'll hand me one tomorrow. And then they didn't. And then, I kept thinking that for like a week. And then they never handed me one. And then I kept thinking about that for probably 1 or 2 weeks. I want to say after 1 week, I was like, huh, I don't think they're going to give me one. And I was like, wow, that's super cool. I don't have to worry about getting his signature every night now. That's amazing. And it was definitely confirmed after 2 weeks. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. So yeah, I was really surprised because it had been like a thing that I had to do every day for the past however many school years. And then suddenly sixth grade, first year of middle school, it's just gone. I was like, wow, awesome, perfect. Something I forgot to mention, and this was something that really agitated me one time that happened and made me pretty mad. So normally my mom would be the one to sign the calendar thing. But there was one time where she wasn't going to be coming home late, or that she wasn't going to be home until like late or until I had to go to bed. So then she told me to just have my dad sign it. So then my dad signed it, and then I took the booklet to school the next day, and then the teacher looks at it, and this is the first time they've ever seen my dad's signature, and then they ask me whose signature it is, and then I tell them it's my dad's, and then they're like looking at me suspiciously, like I maybe forged the signature or something, and I'm just like, really, really, come on. So I mean, granted, after I told them that, they just let it go, but really, really. So yeah, that's pretty much my whole rant about that. Um, like I said, I think it's unnecessary. I feel like most other people, because I also, looking back on it, I'm pretty sure most other people during, like, that were in the classes with me also remembered to just do all their homework assignments, like themselves. So, maybe it's changed now. Maybe the kids' memories are not as good. I don't know. I don't even know if that's still a thing that they do. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I have no idea. After it was gone in sixth grade, it's like, well, okay, cool. It's not like I speak to anybody or ever have spoken to anybody that was, you know, 4 grades lower than me, right? So I don't even know if they, I mean, because I've graduated, right? I don't know if they still do it now or not. Wouldn't be able to tell you. You know, hopefully not for them. Doesn't matter for me. So, yeah, and I gotta say, I love not having homework. You know, like I can't remember. I want to say generally I started school at like 7. No, not 7. Well, 7. Yeah, it was either like 7 or 8, something like that. Somewhere between like 7. I want to say 8:30, and then I would get out at like somewhere between like 3 and 4. And it's like, bro, I already spent a lot of hours just at school, and then you're gonna give me homework to do after I did several hours already at the building. Anyways, and then now it's just like, you know, gone. It's all gone. I go in, I do my however many hours shift, leave, and then I could just kind of relax. Although typically that uh, means going to bed. So yeah. So that's it for my rant on that. And hopefully this recording turns out well. Something I am going to be trying differently is recording in MKV, editing in MKV, and uploading in MKV. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's about it. See ya and bye bye.